Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I've got something special, many months in the making. A Hazbin Hotel / Helluva collaboration. There's so many of us who made absolutely awesome dolls for this. Be sure to catch all their videos and photos. I will leave their information in the description box below. I chose to make Carmilla Carmine. I really liked the character when I saw her. A weapons dealer and powerful overlord of hell? Sign me up. And to be honest, what really sold me was her voice actress singing. She's got some pipes. While researching her design, I got an idea. With such huge hair, why not go Rococo in style? I ran the idea by my friends and they loved it, so please sit back and enjoy. Rococo fashion was popular in France from 1720 to 1770. It's marked by its curves, motifs, and asymmetry. Through my research, I decided I wanted to do a high-low skirt, long bell sleeves, and a lacy bodice. There would be lots of details, so I was kinda sweating pulling this off. Let's get started. I originally wanted to use G3 Abby because she towers over the other dolls. Carmilla is always on her tiptoes, so she's quite tall, and Abby's statuesque build would really lend to that feeling of powerful woman. She does have fur texture on her, but I'm going to ignore that and just paint over it. She'll be covered by clothes, so it's a non-issue. But her jaw is just too strong for Carmilla. At my friend's recommendation, I dug in my stock and found a spare G1 Ghoulie head. Much better. I could have prepped both heads, but I decided not to and just focused my time on getting the hair plugs out of Ghoulia. While it's way grosser, I do prefer the glue method to the new melting method Mattel's been using. Makes the hair easier to pull out, in my opinion. Though, I did eventually have to cut open the back of her head to get all of it. I then removed her face with 100% acetone. Mixing up the correct skin tone took some work, but I leaned on my teachings from art school. Yellow ochre plus burnt sienna plus white equals skin tone. Add red as needed, and blue for darker tones. I managed to get something acceptable, and applied several watered down layers. I know it looks way pinker now, but that's just the lighting. It was pretty much a perfect match. I then sealed it with Mod Podge, but it didn't work as well as it usually does. It started chipping around her legs and joints pretty quickly. You may have noticed spots that are slightly different in color. Mixing skin tones over and over is very difficult. Let's do her face. I started by sketching on the markings of her face and eyes. Using acrylic paint, I filled in the mask area. Not sure why I painted over the eyes. I took the time to sketch in, but I did. Either way, I then outlined the mask in black. I thicken the top outline with watercolor pencil. Be careful when drawing on painted doll heads so you don't just punch through the paint. I then sketch her eyes back on. Then colored her lips. Using soft pastels, I blushed her face. I skipped her body this time because she's going to be pretty much covered anyway. This was a fairly difficult face though. I had to keep layering shadows and highlights so her face didn't look completely flat. I know she's a cartoon character, but this is a three-dimensional ball. Carmilla has red sclera and white irises, so I got out every red I had and started layering them. Everything from terracotta to rose pink to, fittingly, carmine red. I saw some cosplayers doing red under eyeshadow for their looks, and I thought it was great, so I went with it. Add some more highlighting. Using black, I sketched on her eyeliner. Then added her pupils. Using white, I added tiny lines to her eyes to make them a bit more realistic. Then added her waterline. And really saturated her pupils and eyeliner with black paint. I forgot to give her catch lights, but honestly, I don't think she needs them with how detailed her eyes are. So I just glossed them in her lips. I'm using a chunky yarn for her hair and started winding it with my fingers. For smaller yarn, I use a pet brush, but this stuff comes out pretty easily. After that was unraveled, I got out a slicker brush and brushed it all. Taking that yarn, I then straighten it out with a hair straightener. This leaves us with nice shiny wefts. I made a pile of white and a few black ones to cover her head. You'll notice some paint damage. Full disclosure, I glued hair to her head thinking I could just style it into cones. Yeah, that didn't work. So I remarked where I needed the wefts to go and prepared to try again. Using my new hand drill, I made some holes for armature wire. Word of advice, do this before you do the face up. On the advice of, I believe it was Steffu dolls, I acquired some white craft foam. I cut triangles and glued them together. I heated them up with my heat gun and molded them to the curve I needed. Probably shouldn't have heated up that glue. It's probably toxic. But I feel okay. I then attached them to her head. I watched a cosplay tutorial on TikTok for a Carmilla wig and tried to emulate that technique by gluing down the end of the weft, wrapping it around the cone, and then securing the end. It worked really well. I then placed the other wefts at various angles on her head. I trimmed her bangs and styled with wax and added ribbons and a headband. I'm particularly proud of being able to make her little curl on the side. I'm aware the cone should be higher, but at this point I was over the hair and didn't want to do it a third time. She needs tights, so I took the doll, traced her legs, cut some stretchy black fabric, and sewed them up. Conveniently, it covers the paint chipping off her feet and legs. I said I'd never make doll gloves again, and here I am. I used the same method as I did with Mercari, but stuffed the ends with yarn fluff to make them 3D. For her skirt, I grabbed some black satin and fray checked the edges. I basically just made a bunch of circle skirts and then cut them down as needed so that they sat correctly. I added a ruffle and decided I hated it. Instead, I added lace trim. This looks way better. Then I made a bigger tier, and sew them together. I took these supplies and made a petticoat to really proof out the dress. And then made a front panel for the dress. It attaches like this. For the white skirt, I used the backside of my white pleather and a red velvet. I tried a few white fabrics, but none of them looked right until I tried this. After adding black lace, I attached it to the other two tiers. For her sleeves, I wanted a poofy one, so I made a little pattern, cut it in 3, and gathered it all together. The bodice pattern is just 2 pieces I made by studying her factory shirt. This is try 1. It was okay, but it didn't fit great, so I scrapped it. Try 2 worked way better, so I made the bells of the sleeves out of lace. I then attached the bodice to the skirt. This is how her dress turned out. I'm quite proud of it. For her ballet shoes, I started with Warbler. For a full tutorial on these, check out my channel. I painted them black and then silver. And they are, of course, sharp. If you know, you know. No spoilers here. The uppers are made of red velvet and silver iridescent vinyl. I then used ribbons cut from the same vinyl to lace them up her legs after assembly. And she's ready! I think she turned out way better than I thought I could do. I'm very happy. She'll be available in my shops. Links are in the description if you'd like to adopt her or any of my other available dolls. May I present Lady Carmilla Carmine? I'm very excited with her look, and I'm in awe of her dress. I really didn't think I could pull off such a detailed look. And I want to go ham on all my dolls. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, and subscribe if you did. See you next time.